What if I told you you could conquer 1,000 battles and still be defeated? Not by the world, but by your own mind. This is not a story about power, or glory, or victory over others. It's a story about self-mastery. A story of a man named Samuel Cross, a once great fighter, who could defeat anyone in the ring, except himself. He lost everything, not to an opponent, but to a moment of anger. And one single slap that shattered his family. Because sometimes, the hardest person to conquer is the one staring back at you in the mirror. Samuel Cross was once feared in the ring. They called him the Panther. Fast, brutal, unstoppable. He won match after match. No opponent could stand longer than 3 rounds. But all his victories meant nothing the day he raised his hand, not in the ring, but against his own son. After his wife passed away, Samuel raised their only child, Leo, alone. He wanted Leo to be strong, fearless, just like him. But Leo was different. He liked to draw. He loved watching birds in silence. He cried when his classmates teased him, and never fought back. Samuel couldn't understand. Don't you have pride? Don't you feel ashamed to be weak? Leo just looked down, didn't say a word. That silence burned Samuel inside. And then, in a moment of fury, he slapped Leo across the face. The sound echoed through the house. Leo ran out, disappeared into the woods. Samuel searched for him for hours, then days, until a villager found the boy, curled up at the base of an old oak tree, soaked in rain, shivering. Leo wasn't crying. He wasn't angry. He just whispered, "I don't want to be strong. If strong means hurting the ones you love." Samuel stood frozen. That night, he didn't sleep, not because he was worried, but because, for the first time, he saw the enemy inside himself. The enemy wasn't fear. It wasn't weakness. It was his pride, his ego, his belief that being feared was the same as being respected. He stopped training. He stopped yelling. He started listening. He visited a nearby monastery, not to become a monk, but to sit and just listen. One day, a monk said, "He who conquers others is strong, but he who conquers himself is truly powerful." Dhammapada, verse 103. Those words cut deeper than any punch he'd ever taken. He realized he had been undefeated in battle, but completely defeated in life. So he began carving a statue, a small wooden Buddha, with hands folded gently in the lap, a symbol of peace. He gave it to Leo, and said softly, "I fought many men, son, but I never fought the worst in me. I was wrong, and I'm sorry." Leo looked at him, for the first time in years, then stepped forward and hugged him. No words, just warmth. In that moment, Samuel won the greatest victory of his life. Not over the world, but over the storm within. Why did Samuel lose his way? Why do so many of us win in the world, but lose in our hearts? Because we were never taught that the greatest battle is not outside, it's inside. In the Dhammapada, the Buddha said, "Though one may conquer 1,000 men in battle 1,000 times, the one who conquers himself is the greatest of all conquerors." Dhammapada, verse 103. Self-mastery is not about control, it's about awareness, compassion, restraint. The Buddha never told us to escape the world. He showed us how to live in the world, but not be ruled by it. Not by fame, not by fear, not by anger. You can win every argument. You can dominate every room. You can silence everyone around you, and still be a slave to your own ego. The Buddha understood this. That's why he said, "Better than 1,000 hollow words is one word that brings peace." Dhammapada, verse 100. Peace does not come from being right. It comes from being free. But what chains us? Anger, greed, pride, judgment. Every time we react, without reflection, we lose ourselves. That is why, in Buddhism, the path begins not with conquest, but with observation. Observe your mind, your thoughts, your impulses. Can you sit in silence and watch your anger rise without acting on it? Can you feel envy and not feed it? Can you hear criticism and not strike back? This is the battlefield, not a ring, not a debate stage, but the space between a thought and your reaction. Every moment is an opportunity to either conquer the world or to conquer the self. True strength is not loud. It's not aggressive. It's not dramatic. It is quiet, centered, compassionate. That's why monks smile, even when insulted. That's why the Buddha sat while others fought. Because true victory is the ability to remain undisturbed in a world that constantly tries to shake you. And the path to that victory begins within. So now, I ask you, what are you trying to conquer? The world? A promotion? Someone's opinion? Your past? Or is the real battle right here, inside? Be honest. Have you ever said something just to win an argument, but lost someone's trust? Have you ever proved a point, but felt empty? Have you ever hurt someone and realized you were really hurting yourself? You see, you don't need to conquer the world to be free. You just need to stop being at war with yourself. If someone triggers you, it's not them, it's your reaction. If life feels heavy, maybe it's not the world, but what you're still carrying inside. Old anger, old wounds, old stories that no longer serve you. Let them go, even just one belief, one fear, one moment of pain you keep replaying. Let it go. Not for them, for you. Because healing doesn't start when others say sorry. It starts when you choose peace over pride. So I ask again, what is one thing you still haven't conquered in yourself? Write it in the comments below. Right finger, the hardest battle in me is blank. Your truth might inspire someone else to face their own. Share this with a friend who always looks strong but cries in silence. You never know what your words might heal. Folded hands, and if today you feel tired of fighting, let this be the moment you lay down your weapons. Take a breath. Close your eyes. And whisper to yourself, I am enough. I am not my anger. I am ready to be free. Because true peace never comes from conquering others. It comes when you finally master yourself.